I just want to say that this is take number 2, guys, but this is 4 days after the first take. Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. You guys already saw the video title. This video is all about the ND75 keyboard, so if you want to skip straight to the unboxing, please use the timestamps. And here's the intro. I think this is a very different camera angle, and that's because I kind of want to do a different style of video this time. And to be honest with you guys, this whole entire setup was never meant to be taken from this angle in the first place, because usually I take top-down shots, but I never considered about the possibility of perhaps recording myself with the product and then kind of talking to a camera. So yeah, please let me know what you guys think of this, and yeah, sorry if it looks kind of strange, but you know, this is something new, so I guess the only way to find out is to just try it out, right? So yes, like I mentioned, this is actually take 2 of this video. I had already recorded the full unboxing and my initial impressions of it, like my real-time reactions to it, but that video got corrupted within the recording app, and this was like 4 days ago. So I actually spent the remaining 4 days just trying to troubleshoot everything and trying to salvage the video, but yeah, there was no workaround. So I decided, you know what, just screw it. I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm just gonna record this whole thing again. So this is kind of like a reenactment of sorts, but I guess the good thing about having a second take is that now I guess my thoughts are a little bit more organized. Now the main intention of this intro is to kind of give you guys a preface as to why I wanted to make this video in the first place. I've waited for this for like barely 2 months before it arrived. This keyboard here, I guess it could be seen to most people as just another mechanical keyboard, but this here, the ND75, is priced at $89 US, and that is fully built. And it's got a lot of crazy features to it. Shoutouts to iLumkb, by the way, for being a local vendor and conducting the local group buy. But this, with shipping, cost me 134 Singapore dollars, which is a super cheap price for what it is. When I had first heard about it and I saw videos like review videos and people just talking about it on forums like GeekHack, I thought that this was too good to be true. Like, this price point is crazy cheap. So when a reputable local company became the regional vendor for this particular keyboard, I guess I got more confidence from that, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. I want to find out if really this is too good to be true. There was a bit of skepticism that I had that maybe, perhaps, I'm just gonna be served a whole nothing burger, but it arrived less than 2 months later, and yeah, I just want to talk about it like this thing potentially is going to, in my opinion, right, change the entire landscape of the custom mechanical keyboard hobby. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna unbox it, well, basically re-unbox it, but I put everything back in place, so hopefully this gives you a more realistic idea of the unboxing experience, and then we'll talk about the keyboard as well. So here we go. I'm gonna move the microphone aside. First of all, this is the box that the ND75 comes in. ND stands for not defined, and you'll see this blue motif here. I'm going to call it out because this is kind of like a shout out to one of the features of the keyboard itself. So all around you have this blue motif, right? And on the back, you actually have these color options that are marked. So yes, just undo this little flap on the front, or the bottom I should say, and then we pull this up and out. Once that's open, we are first greeted with the instruction manual. Now this is important because there are quite a lot of features on this keyboard itself, and by familiarizing yourself with the manual, you'll be able to harness all those features using the right key combinations. Next, of course, is the keyboard itself, and this keyboard comes in this fabric pouch. Oh, sorry, I got this little styrofoam on the side. Let me put this back. It comes in a little fabric pouch, and the keyboard is right inside here. Oh yeah, and this pouch is a drawstring style pouch, and so the keyboard is in here just like that. And we move the pouch out of frame. You got the keyboard. I will talk a little bit more about it shortly after. Let's talk about the accessories box here. In this pack, you have an accessories box, and the accessories that it comes with is, first of all, a USB cable, a USB-C to USB-A cable. And this, I'd like to point out that this is pretty darn high quality. I mean, yes, it is not a coiled cable, it is not a braided cable, but this is thick, dude. This cable here is really thick. Plus, it comes with a faux leather organizing strap. And then check out the leads of the connectors. Just look at that. USB-A, USB-C. Look at how well that is done. It is super high quality connectors right there. I'm so surprised at this. Like, yeah. So yeah, this one gets a plus point from me. I was not expecting this quality, but just color me pleasantly surprised. This is a plus point to me. And there are a few other smaller little baggies in here. And so you'll find 3 other Ziploc bags, small ones here. The first one is going to be this bag that contains an extra ribbon cable as well as a dongle here and a USB-A dongle. This is a 2.4 gigahertz wireless USB dongle that you attach to your laptop, your device, your PC, and this will allow your keyboard to be connected wirelessly. And the ribbon cable is an extra ribbon cable that connects the PCB to the LCD screen of the keyboard. And the next little bag contains these silicone, I'm going to call them grommets, and this is to be used if you're going to change the mounting style to a silica gel mounting style. In my opinion, that's kind of like a sandwich mount where these go onto the plate itself and it acts like a sandwich mount. But yes, that is a different mounting style that this keyboard offers. And the last pouch over here, the last baggie, is a set of extra screws, and this is for if you want to change the mounting style to a top mounted style. So yes, you got a keyboard, custom mechanical keyboard, fully built, that allows for 3 different mounting options. Yeah, let me just push these boxes out of the way. And now let's take a closer or a slightly better look at the ND75 keyboard. So this keyboard, it comes with switches installed, it comes with stabs installed, and I gotta say the stabs are actually done very, very well. And it's got keycaps installed as well, and these are double shot PBT keycaps. The color is really, really vibrant, as you can see, and I like that it matches the case anodization color as well. You can also see on the side here there is an LCD screen that is not turned on yet because I haven't turned it on. Turning this around, you'll see that very beautiful weight with the machining marks, and this is beautiful, guys. Like the machining mark, I mean, come on. You guys who have been following me and my channel for the past few years know that I'm a sucker for very well done machining marks, and this is super nice. And then it is anodized, and so it matches the whole keyboard. And then let's look at the keyboard feet as well. The keyboard feet are done in such a way that they are not stuck on via adhesive stickers, but it is made one piece out of silicone, and it has these little, I guess these grooves here that would sit into these slots. So if you are someone that doesn't like to have rubber feet on the base of your keyboard, then you can just take this out. And you know that you won't damage anything. You can still reuse these feet if you ever want to use them again. Now check out the sound, okay? Check out the sound profile of this. This is amazing for a pre-built custom mechanical keyboard. At $89, I'm gonna keep stressing this over and over again, guys, but at that price point. Okay, I'm gonna move the microphone a little bit closer to the keyboard. Just listen to the sound, guys. Just... Is that not pleasing to your ears? Just it's a very marbly sound profile. Some people may liken this to be a very foamy sound profile, but I beg to differ because it sounds like when you have a cup or a mug that is filled with a rather creamy or thick drink, and when you're stirring it with a spoon and you knock the side of the mug, you get that kind of a sound. So in my opinion, it's more marbly and more creamy rather than foamy. And let's talk about the stabilizers, right? So the stabilizers are done really well. I'm really surprised. So let's start from the right side. We have the backspace, we have the enter key. The right shift is a 2U shift key, so there's no stabilizers required. You have the space bar, and then you have the left shift. So I'm going to start with the backspace. Just listen to how even it sounds. And then the enter key. So like I said, it's really well done. Left shift. And then the space bar. No complaints there. It is not the most perfect sounding spacebar, but in my opinion, it's already pretty darn good. Like for me, if I wanted to get my spacebars on any custom mechanical keyboard to sound something like this, it's gonna take me a lot of time and effort tweaking it over and over again. This one actually sounds pretty darn good. Of course, there's a slight difference between the left and right sides, and that sound is a little bit more obvious when we slide across. Right, but well done. Overall, well done. This is pre-built, guys, like stock out of the box. I didn't do any modifications to this thing. This is just, yeah. It's just amazing. Hey guys, please pardon the interruption. I just wanted to add that this keyboard also has Hotswap sockets. Now, I totally forgot about mentioning that because it just wasn't top of mind. Like at this stage or at this point in time, I feel like Hotswap sockets are kind of like the norm. So it's like more of an expectation in my mind. So I just totally didn't mention that. But anyway, yeah, just to show it to you guys, all you gotta do is just remove a keycap, expose the switch. Let me just take away one more so that you guys can see a little bit better. You know what, I'll just do a few. Yeah, so there's a clearer visibility here. So you can see that switch there. All you gotta do then is grab your switch puller and then just remove it. And you can already see the flex cuts on the PCB. Just do that. And these switches here are made by Gateron, I think. They're called the Gateron Everfree switches. So yeah, Gateron Everfree. They are linear switches and they are pretty smooth in stock form, so no complaints there. I mean, it is a pre-built after all. But then that allows you to basically change these switches out to any other switch that you want. For example, these are some Bisan Pines. And when you're done, just put your keycap back and you're good to go. Yeah, so that's a quick way to also change up the typing feel and the sound profile of your keyboard. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mention this earlier, but yeah, there you go. However, on the flip side of this, Chilkey did not include any kind of switch puller or keycap puller in the package, but you could get these for cheap. So for those who are new to the keyboard hobby, please keep that in mind. You're going to have to get yourself a switch puller and a keycap puller so that you could remove the keycaps and switches and change out to another switch of your choice. The next feature that I want to tell you guys about is that this thing has actually 3 different connectivity modes. Of course, you already know that this is wireless, right? Using that 2.4 GHz dongle. But you can also connect this via Bluetooth as well as a standard wired connection. Now, the icing on the cake, in my opinion, is the closure system of the keyboard case itself. This employs, I guess, the new in-thing style, which is the ball latch system. So in order for you to remove the top half of the keyboard case, you don't need any tools. No screws involved. All you gotta do is just apply a little bit of pressure onto 1 or 2 of the switches that holds the PCB down. Then wrap your fingers around the lip of the top case and just pull upwards. And that's what happens. See that? Do the same for the lower half. And then you can actually just pop the case off. And so by doing this, you can see how simple it is to access your PCB assembly. Now I'm going to lift up the whole PCB assembly and show you another nifty little feature that this thing has, and that is the pogo connector for the daughter board. So you see there is a daughter board piece here that connects to that over here, and that's where the battery is. It's basically sitting in between the weight and the bottom case of the keyboard. And so we have this pogo pin connector that connects that battery to the PCB. And all you gotta do is just move it close enough and it'll just kind of snap in place. Just like that. And then you just line up your PCB assembly, fit it into place and close up the top case on top, just snap it back in. Now the next little nifty feature about this is that in each corner of the lower case is a little rubber bumper that acts as a force brake mod. So what a force brake mod is, for those of you that don't really understand, it is a mod that is done usually to add an extra layer of material that kind of separates the bottom and the top case from each other so that if they kind of shake or rattle, then you won't get metal on metal pinging, right? So these 4 in each corner are already there to act as a force brake mod. So that gives you a cleaner sound profile. And so to close the case up, just get your top half. Of course, you got to be careful of the ribbon cable over here, like I mentioned, because this ribbon cable connects the PCB to the LCD screen. Just line it up accordingly. And then when it is correctly lined up, just apply an even pressure downwards and the whole thing will just snap in place and your keyboard is reassembled. I've decided, in order to kind of show you guys exactly how simple that is, I'm going to change out the mounting style, because right now in its stock form, it comes in a mounting style known as a split O-ring mount. So it's kind of like a gasket mount, but using O-rings and at certain points. So it's a very flexible, very bouncy and comfortable sort of experience. But if you want something a bit stiffer, you could go for the top mount, or you could go for the silica gel mount, which is like a sandwich mount. And I'm going to do that right now just to show you guys how simple it is. So first things first, just apply pressure on a switch or a key and then just lift up the case, move it half one side, then lift up the PCB assembly and we remove the O-rings. So there are 6 O-rings all across the PCB, and the O-rings are mounted onto the PCB itself. But the difference between this and the silica gel mount is that the silica gel grommets sit onto the plate itself. There we go. We've got all 6 out. And I mentioned earlier that you've got tons and tons of foam. So the PCB assembly, I'm just going to explain it to you guys right now. The PCB assembly is made up of a polycarbonate plate, and then it has a layer of plate foam. And underneath the plate foam, or sitting on top of the PCB itself, is a layer of PE foam. And then you have the PCB, and then underneath the PCB, you have another layer of foam. This is pour-on foam and acts as the case foam itself. So yes, the next step is for me to take out all these silicone grommets. And there are a total of 8 silicone grommets for 8 points across the plate itself. Now I have all 8 here. So all I gotta do is just look for this notch here and push in the silicone grommet. And I'll do the same for all of the rest of the slots. Now that I've got all 8 of these silicone grommets into their respective slots, I'm going to line up the pogo pin connector for the daughter board. Now it's in place. And then just line up the PCB assembly with the bottom case. Now that everything's just lined up nicely, grab the top case, align it, and just push down. And we are done reassembling the keyboard, and this is a different mounting style. Now I'm going to connect it to the PC so I can show you guys what it looks like with the LCD screen and how easy it is for you to kind of customize it and change, for example, the light mode. And oh yeah, by the way, this thing has RGB as well, per key RGB. So let me get my USB-C plugging in, and you'll see that it will turn on via the LCD screen, right? And it shows the not defined logo, and then it shows you like a menu of sorts or a dashboard of sorts with the time, the date, the battery status indicator. And that's the one thing that I haven't figured out yet. I want to figure out how I'm going to change the time and the date, because right now it's showing 2099. So in order for you to kind of move through the different menu options here, you just use the function key and then press plus or minus respectively. So just let me try and do this without blocking the camera. Here we go. So that's different configuration options. You've got all these options here, 2 pages worth, 8 options altogether. And then you have I guess a graphic screen with a really cute sleeping squirrel. But yeah, if you don't want that, you want to go back to the dashboard, it is really simple. Now I started getting interested in this whole custom mechanical keyboard hobby back in the year, like I think it was 2020 or 2021. I can't remember exactly which year, but I remember that I had long COVID hair. And at that point, when I first started, it was just like, you know, just dabbling into the keyboard hobby, right? But as I got more interested and I traversed along that path, over time, I actually came across a few different, I guess, trends and sort of hype things. Like I remember there was a period of time where many keyboard manufacturers were just shouting and saying, hey, buy our keyboard, it's gasket mounted. And then of course there were other mounting systems that came out. Like now you have like spring mounts and pogo mounts, and you got magnetic levitation mounts and all that kind of stuff. And then I remember the next in trend was PE foam, started by Owl Labs and the Jelly Epoch keyboard. It started off with everyone wanting to put PE foam into the keyboards, but then after a while it got really tiring because every keyboard started to sound the same. So people then started to move away from PE foam. And then there was this period of time when there was just a lot of flex cuts everywhere, like flex cuts on PCBs, flex cuts on plates and all that. One of the latest trends now is the Hall effect switches for keyboards. The ball latch system here, that is one of the newer trends, as well as the magnetic pogo pins is also one of the newer trends. But in my opinion, these are actually good innovations to have because they make your building experience really straightforward. It's a lot more easier and a lot more convenient. Of course, there are people who, I'm pretty sure, love the original way of using screws and hardware to kind of close up your keyboard or disassemble everything. But in my opinion, like this, if you're talking about someone who wants to dabble in and understand and try different sort of configurations, having this sort of system where you don't even need any sort of tools is super convenient and super accessible. I remember when I first bought my Keychron Q1, that was priced at $179 and that did not include shipping. $179 compared to this, which is $89. Okay, well, there has to be some give somewhere, right? Yes, this thing does not have any compatibility with VIA or QMK, to be fair, right? But on the flip side of the same coin, anything with a screen is not going to be compatible with VIA or QMK anyway. Just for case in point, right? Let me just kind of pull up this page that I have over here. And this is the ND75 because, you know, in case I forget about a feature, I wanted to talk about it, but I did not, so yay. But you guys can see right there, it's still on sale at $89 US, right? But anyway, at the point of recording this video, like right now, the Zoom 65 V3 by Millitrix is in its GB phase, and this is priced at $179, which is the same price as what I paid for my Keychron Q1 back then. But for this price now, of course, you're getting a 65% keyboard. It's a bit smaller in form factor, but the customization options on this are crazy. Right? You've got multiple case color options. You've got customizability options in the top right switch. So you could have either an LCD screen, you could have a knob, you could have a light display, or you could change it to a switch. And on top of that, you actually have 6 different mounting options that are available to you in one single keyboard. And that includes what I mentioned just now, like the magnetic levitation mounting style, as well as the pogo pin style. But this has an estimated fulfillment time of October this year. And so for $89 US, I'm just really pleasantly surprised at this. But the one thing that I have to say about this versus other keyboards that I own, right, the biggest thing that I think affects the price point is the quality of the anodization, right? That's one thing, the finishing itself. In terms of the color, it is very even. I'm gonna say that it's very evenly done, and the color is very, very vibrant. And of course, you know, the weight is really, really well done. But I'm gonna say that I think that this is just like the standard anodization quality, not anything special, right? Because I think that if you lightly knock this or scratch this, you're likely going to scratch off some of that anode layer. In case in point, right, out of the box, I already noticed that there is a little scuff right here. It's kind of hard to see. You'll be able to only spot it from a certain particular angle, but right here is like a blemish, right? And so given how well this keyboard was packed when it arrived, I think that that is one of the areas where Chilkey was able to save in terms of cost. Now, I don't know about the manufacturing process. I don't know if this is CNC'd. I don't know if this is, you know, cast. I have no idea. But I honestly don't know how they're keeping it at this price point of $89 US for a keyboard like this, fully built, with switches, with stabs, well done stabs by the way, and you've got double shot PBT keycaps that are pretty good quality. Legends are not the nicest, but the legends are sharp enough, right? The legends are pretty sharp, colors are very vibrant. This sound profile with an LCD screen. You've got 3 mounting style options. You've got this ball latch system closure. You've got Bluetooth connectivity. It comes with a battery already. You've got an external weight. You've got that magnetic pogo pin connector. Guys, this is just like amazing to me. And so because of this, it's just making me really excited about what's going to be coming in future with this keyboard hobby. It's like, where I'm coming from is basically like, if you can have all of those innovations in a keyboard that costs less than $100 US, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen next, and I want to know how Chilkey is going to outdo themselves for the next keyboard iteration that they're going to be making. And I don't know what other companies are going to do in response to this. I'm just really interested to see where this is going to go, what sort of mounting styles are going to be available, whether or not something like this is going to be compatible with VIA in future, because I am a huge fan of VIA. In fact, actually, VIA compatibility is quite a big deal breaker for me. It's a make or break decision kind of thing for me when I'm purchasing a keyboard. But the main reason why I bought this, even though I knew that it was not VIA compatible, is really just I wanted to know if this is too good to be true, and I'm shocked, guys. And that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing in this slice of my life. I'm gonna move the microphone here because I'm doing the outro right now. Let me know what you think of this camera angle and this style of video, because, you know, it's my first time trying it out. Just something different. I kind of wanted to share with you guys my opinions on this and my thoughts on where this is gonna go in the future. So if you enjoyed this video, then please click the likey. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell while you're at it. Also, I want to say a huge thank you to all of the subscribers. I have broken the 8,000 subscriber mark, so thank you very much. It's been a long journey, and honestly, I never expected to get this far in this YouTube space. And I'm really, really touched that so many of you are actually enjoying it as well. And to see 8,000 subscribers, just wow, thank you. This would not have been possible without all of your support. So a real big heartfelt thank you goes out to all of you for all of the support so far. Thank you so much for everything, guys. It really means a lot to me. So once again, guys, this is the ND75 keyboard, the not defined keyboard by Chilkey. And I will catch all of you in my next slice. Bye.